One thing I love about the Super Mario Bros. Franchise is its abundance of extra content for you to discover. Sometimes just being small Easter eggs you can find along your journey, while at other times being entire game modes that follow mechanics much differently than the regular platforming. Today specifically, I had the idea of looking at mini-games that appear across the entire series, showcasing each one from every single game, telling you where they appear, and how exactly they function. Oh yeah, before we get started, my name is Copycat, and if you haven't yet, then please subscribe to my channel, hitting that bell button to stay notified when I upload new videos. The very first game to be released in the franchise was Super Mario Bros. For the NES, which unfortunately doesn't have any minigames I can mention, at least in the original version of the title. This is probably due to the limitations of the time, leading to the exclusion of any extra game modes like we see in other entries. This one does have sub-areas that I guess fall into a gray area for this category, but we'll talk about those more in depth in a later video. The next game to be released, at least in Western markets, was Super Mario Bros. 2 for the NES, which has a minigame that takes place at the end of each level in the bonus chance screen. This is only playable if you collected any coins through the Magic Door sub-area, which then the amount you get gives you that many chances to play the slots and try to win lives. This is definitely useful, as it's hard to gain extra lives through the regular gameplay, on top of it being extremely easy to die in this very different Mario experience. The final game of the original trilogy is Super Mario Bros. 3 that came out for the NES in 1990, which actually has a few minigames that you can come across during your playthrough, starting with the spade panels. This is this game's version of the slots that are found throughout the different overworlds. This takes some skill and some luck to perfect, and is a good bonus if you're in need of some extra lives. Another minigame you can come across is the matching card one, where you have to do just that to win the prize that you match. This only shows up if you gained a total of 80,000 points in the world that you're in, and appears floating over a certain level, just having to touch it to enter it. The final sort of minigames I want to mention are the moments where you have to face off against enemies in the game's overworld, gaining items you otherwise wouldn't find playing normally through the levels. These are generally easy to defeat, especially if you're already powered up. The very first handheld game of the series is Super Mario Land for the Game Boy, which has one minigame that appears at the end of each level if you've taken the secret top goal exit leading you to the ladder room. Here you'll find 4 different floors with either extra lives or power-ups at their ends, having to guide where Mario goes by controlling the exact positioning of the ladder by pressing A to place it. Mario will then move in a straight line and will use the ladder if it's in his path, collecting whatever goodie he lands on at the end of the floor. This feature is almost needed, as this game is very scarce when it comes to 1-ups and has some sections where it's really easy to die. Next, we're going to look at Super Mario World for the SNES, that has a couple minigames I want to showcase, starting with the bonus item block game. This shows up if you've attained 100 gold stars, which are given to you when you clear a level's giant gate, and is a tic-tac-toe based challenge where lining up 3 in a row will give you 1-ups. If you're skilled enough and can make every block display the same power-up, then you'll be rewarded with 8, which is the maximum you can achieve here. Another minigame you can come across, but this time in sub-area form, are the 1-up chambers, where you have a chance of winning a 1-up mushroom on each floor. To do this, you have to hit the question mark blocks in the correct order to gain your prize. But these are shuffled around in random order, so there's definite luck involved. The second handheld game in the series is Super Mario Land 2 that came out in North America in 1992, containing 2 minigames that can pop up if you trigger a stage's end bell. The first is the crane game, which has a conveyor belt full of power-ups, where you have to press A at the right moment to lower and grab one of them. Although this seems pretty simple, you do need to be a bit precise, as there's still a chance that you come up empty and get nothing at all. The other is the ladder game, where you have to trigger a switch that sends electricity through a maze to a prize at the top of the screen. This one takes a bit of thinking to figure out the path you want, but you're at least guaranteed a power-up. The first 3D-based game in the franchise was Super Mario 64 for the N64, which contains probably my favorite minigame you'll see in this video, in the facelift one found during the title screen. Here you can use your cursor hand to move Mario's nose, ears, cheeks, chin, and hat. which leads to some incredibly hysterical moments that can give you hours of fun. The DS version of the game goes even further with this facelift madness, adding extra bonus features, along with the option of selecting Yoshi. This is such a fan favorite that it appears throughout the Mario Party franchise as well, having to change the character's features to match the picture that's shown to all the players. Super Mario Sunshine for the GameCube is the next to be released in the series, and contains two sub-areas I guess could be considered mini-games in the Pachinko Machine and Lily Pad Rides, both needing you to collect 8 red coins. In the Pachinko Machine, you have to navigate the gigantic cabinet while using the FLUDD to help you platform. This is not as fun as it seems like it would be, mainly due to the horrible camera that screws up your perspective, making it hard to properly maneuver. The Lily Pad ride is hated for a completely different reason, being its difficulty, as you have to travel on a small leaf on a river, collecting the red coins as you go. You need to use the sprays from the FLUDD to control the direction of the Lily Pad raft, which is no easy feat, and if you fall into the water, you lose a life, which, trust me, will happen a lot. Nintendo will return the series to its 2D platforming roots with new Super Mario Bros. For the DS, which actually has a large variety of minigames, and both ones you can find while you're playing, as well as extra game modes. Those ones you come across are found within Toad houses, with the red ones containing a roulette block, where you need to bonk it at the right time to get your desired power-up, and the green Toad houses, which presents you with a series of question mark blocks, where you either uncover all of them, or hit the Bowser card, which ends everything right there. Separate from the main playthrough, you have access to special bonus minigames at the main menu, letting you play either solo or versus against a friend. There really are a lot of games to choose from here, from puzzlers, to action ones, to casino-like games, all of which are a great addition to this absolutely amazing entry. Up next, we're going to look at the space-based Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii, which only has one thing that can be considered a minigame in the Bob-omb blasting one, found a few times throughout the game. Here, the robot Guillermo gives you the objective of needing to clear his small area of all the trash that's ruined his ammo depot, done by using the Bob-ombs to destroy the piles. This can actually be tough as you only have 30 seconds, so you really need to be precise in exactly where you place the bomb to explode with maximum effectiveness. Just as a note, the Mario Wiki classifies the Loop-de-Loop and Loop-de-Sloop Galaxy's race surfing as a minigame, but I'm gonna hold off on this one as I want to make a separate one focusing on racing challenges in the future. The second entry in the new Super Mario Bros. Sub-series came out for the Wii in 2009, containing a few minigames I want to look at, starting with the power-up panels. This is found specifically within the red Toad houses, where you need to climb the fence and punch the panels to reveal what image is on the other side, needing to find each one's double to gain that power-up. However, there also is a pair of Bowser and Bowser Jr. panels mixed in there, so if you're unlucky enough to uncover them, then the game will abruptly end and you'll be rewarded with whatever you've gotten to that point. In the green Toad houses, you can find the 1-Up Blast minigame, where you need to use the Wiimote to line up the cannon so that when you shoot it, it clears as many balloons as possible. As many as you're able to pop on the screen is as many lives you're given as your prize, which is a nice change from just receiving power-ups. It's also cool that each house you come across contains very different setups that you have to fire the cannon at least keeping things fresh, as it's not just the same old thing over and over. The only other feature from this game that sort of could be considered a minigame are the enemy courses. But instead of just straight up defeating the bad guys like in past entries, here you have to collect the 8 Toad balloons all before the time runs out. Unfortunately, this only rewards you with 3 super mushrooms, so completing these aren't as useful as they would seem. The second game in the Super Mario Galaxy sub-series came out for the Wii in 2007, having a couple minigames you'll find during your playthrough, starting with the Chimp Skating and Ultimate Skating challenges. Here you have to skate around the room and collect as many green and golden gummies as you can, all while avoiding the spiky ones, which will greatly slow you down. The objective is to beat the Chimp's score in only 30 seconds, which really can be tough as it is hard to control Mario in this state. The other minigames I want to mention are the crate burning ones, where once again Guillermo requires you to remove the junk from his area. This is done with the aid of the Fire Flower power-up, having to be very precise with your shots in what really is one of the hardest stars of the game. One thing that some people consider as a minigame is the Fluzzard gliding stages, where you need to use the motion controls of the Wiimote to control the bird. The objective is to get to the end of the course in one piece, but if you find the 5 red gates, then you'll unlock the Comet Medal for you to collect. Nintendo would eventually blend the 3D gameplay in the 2D realm with Super Mario 3D Land for the 3DS, where the only minigames you can find within it are the mystery boxes. Here you have to defeat enemies in a very tiny room, granting you a power-up to help you, while rewarding you with a star coin and several normal coins. You can also find gold mystery boxes that automatically give you prizes like 1-ups and power-ups, which help you greatly during your playthrough. The third installment of the new Super Mario Bros. Sub-series also has Toad Houses, with only the green ones containing any minigames. The idea of these ones is to bonk off the boxing glove at the exact moment a 1-up mushroom is directly over top it, where if you connect, you'll collect the shrooms, which does take some patience as they move pretty fast. Unfortunately, this is pretty bare bones and nothing else shows up in this title, but at least there's something. The final entry in the new Super Mario Bros. Sub-series came out for the Wii U in 2012. Also, of course, having Toad Houses containing different minigames, starting with the red ones. Here, 2 power-ups and a Bowser symbol are placed within flying question mark blocks, then shuffled, with you having to pay attention so you don't trigger the wrong one and lose. The red Toad House also has a chance of hosting a Baby Yoshi game, where there are 9 of them split into 3 different colors, eating up a panel with a power-up, number multiplication, or Bowser symbol on them. You need to focus on exactly which one picked up what, then select the correct one of each color, getting whatever prize it equates to. The other Toad House that contains minigames are the green ones, where there are cannons on each side of the screen that shoots out items that you either have to collect or avoid. You really just want to get the coins and 1-up balloons, while avoiding the Bowser ones, achieving how many ever lives you collect before the time runs out. This game also includes the multiplayer exclusive coin courses, where you face off against another person to see who can get the most. These courses are not found in the regular game, and instead are custom made to the gameplay, which is a great touch. Next to be released is Super Mario 3D World for the Wii U, which returns slot machines to the series that can be accessed in the overworld. This one has you entering a bonus room with 4 roulette blocks containing the symbol of different power-ups. Of course, depending on the combination you get, you can win a massive amount of coins, of course translating into 1-ups. This entry also has mystery boxes that contain puzzles other than just defeating enemies, now having to work with balls, power-ups, switches, and platforms to collect the different rooms' green stars, usually in a really small amount of time, which can become very difficult. The absolutely massive Super Mario Odyssey for the Switch is the final game we're going to look at in this video, which has a few moon challenges I guess could be considered minigames, starting with the circle drawing. Here you need to do your best to walk in a perfect circle that at first shows in the ground, but in some instances actually fades away, leading to a lot of trial and error to score high enough to win. Another moon-based minigame is the Jump Rope 1 found in the Metro Kingdom, where you need to jump over 100 times in a row to gain both moons. Many people said this one gave them tons of trouble and took them a long time to complete, mainly due to the incredible speed the rope begins to swing the farther along you go. One that falls within a similar vein are the Seaside Kingdom's volleyball moons, where again, scoring 100 will give you both. I never had trouble with this one, but many people always said it was impossible for them, following this entry's common theme of hard minigames. Now, the one that gave me the most trouble were the Goomba match ones, where you need to recreate certain characters' faces by memory, by capturing, moving, and rotating specific body parts. This is very finicky, and I even went as far as having to trace the face to ensure that I can get both moons. Alright, that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. I really hope you did enjoy this one. If you did, please leave a like, comment below what you thought about it, and of course subscribe to my channel. Also, please go follow my Instagram at CopyCatGamer. There I upload some cool clips and items from my collection that you won't see anywhere else. Hope you guys all have a good day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!